welcome to this tutorial. The first thing we want to do is build a grid. So I have one example here. You don't have to do it exactly the same. I will be walking you through, and then you can, I suppose, add columns or you can remove columns. So the first column that I have is a task number. I find that always very useful when you have a lot of tasks, especially if you work in groups. You can refer to the task number instead of having to read the description every time. So you can either do it manually, or you can do like me. I have one at the first one, and after I just do an addition. I just add one to the task before, and I put that all the way down, and this is it. I'm just going to put that on the center here. The second column is a description. So this is the most important one, I suppose. So you know what you have to do. So you can put here task 01 description. Okay. The estimate, that's optional. You can put an amount of day, amount of hours, or whatever. It is absolutely not required, because it's a progress that you will be using to decide if the task is completed or not. So here, for instance, you could put 50%. If you don't want to track that granularly, you can just put 0% or 100% when complete. So you can just format all this and put it in the center if you like. So you just, as I mentioned, you can just change the size of the columns. So the next column is a date, and I will be putting my date here. So as I'm following the day month, so that's how it will look like. Obviously, it depends on what you have on your computer, but this will not be used by us. It's just for you. And then we have notes here. So again, task not urgent, or anything that you want to put in here. Once again, keep the columns that you want. I think for the purpose of this, the most important column is the progress, because we'll be counting how many tasks are completed and which one are outstanding. So this is it. We finished the first step. We have built a task list. Now I'm just going to go and add more tasks to this, so it makes more sense. Now we can look at the formatting last. The next thing I want to do is to calculate how many tasks are completed and how many tasks are not completed and how many tasks are not started at all. So here I have everything with a bit of a progress. So if I have some at 0%, so that helps. 0% means not started. Okay, let's have a look at this. The first thing that we want to do is to check, say, tasks that have not started. So here I'm just going to do a countif is equal to countif, and which range? Just in this range here, countif. And what is the condition that we want? The condition that we want, which is a criteria that the second parameter in this function here, is this is equal to 0. So equal to 0 here. So here I have 3 that are equal to 0. Now, if you have not input a task here, let's say, and if you have 0 here, that could be a problem. You would think that you have 4 not started, but in fact you don't have a task here. So how can we go around this? So the way to go around this is to do this formula a little bit more complicated here. We just put countifs with an S. Hopefully you have this function. So you have two conditions. First, the condition is, as we've said, progress is 0. And the second condition is the description must be not equal to blank. Or you put the not equal sign in between brackets. And this is the way it will look like. So this is it. So I'm only 3 here. The one where there is no task, it doesn't take it into account. So it's all good. So now I'll be doing something else, actually, because I want to be able to reuse this for the other condition, progress, not in progress and completed. So I will be just going back to this. I want to lock all this. So I'm pressing F4, 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 F4. So you have dollars all over the place here. This way now I can copy this, and you can see that the range doesn't change. Okay, so what is the condition that I want now? I want to have the tasks that have the completion equal to 1, say. So instead of 0, I'm just going to put 1. So there's only one completed here. Let's just test if I complete another one. That means 2 here. Very good. I'm just going to move that so it's a bit clearer. So not started, completed. Now you could tell me, Ben, look, we have the not started and the completed. Let's be lazy and just be deducting the total amount of tasks from those two, and we should have something instead of making the the formula even more complicated. All right, so let's do this then. Okay, so total tasks. How can we do this? We could do a formula, but I just want to show you another formula that you might not be aware of. It's called count A. So that will count the number of values here that are not blank. So here, if I do a count A on this, so that's all. You don't need any other criteria. And here I have 13. Let's have a look. So how many do we have here? 13, and it doesn't count the last one. So that's good. So we have total task of 13. This is a very difficult math problem. What is in progress? Okay, so it's a total tasks, less not started, less completed. Okay, so we have those three numbers that we'll be putting on top of the dashboard. And that's more or less all we need. Now, from now on, we just have to put those three numbers on top, and we have to do some formatting with beautiful colors. Okay, now we'll be doing some coloring here. So there's only 3 colors that we'll be using, and one is for the background, so very easy coloring. The first thing we want to do is to put this table with a very light green by default. So here this is the 3 codes that you need to copy somewhere, and keep in mind, if you want to do exactly the same coloring that I have, those are the codes. Now the light green code is 36EAE1. So let's have a look on how we can turn that into this color if you don't know how to do it. So I'm selecting everything but not the heading here. I'm going under that fill here. I'm just going under more colors here. And here I just don't want to go under standard, I want to go under custom. Now if you have MacBook, you can access this through another menu, I guess. Here I'm on Windows. Okay, so what background do I want? The light green, 36EAE1. Okay, this is it. Yes, so we can change the size of this. Maybe that's a bit large. I wanted to have it big for the demo. Here, maybe in black. Maybe. Okay, so that will do actually for the demo, so you can see what you are doing. Now, there's a deep green here that we'll be using for the gradient, but I wanted also to change the color of the table for when the task is completed. So will be selecting all this here, and I will be doing a conditional formatting, and I will be creating a formula new rule. And here I will be using a formula to determine which cells to format. And here I will be in the format values, I will be selecting the first cell of the progress, but I will be making sure that I will keep the dollar in front of the F, but I want to remove it before in my case, it's 10, it's row 10. So you have to lock the column, but let the row go free. So if you can put it this way. So what do I want here? This is a condition that I need to put. That the progress is equal to 1. And what do we do when the progress is equal to 1? We format it. I put 1, but you can put 100%. I like to leave it as 1, which is 100%, believe me or not. So, okay, you go into format here. You go under fill. I'm going under font first. Sorry, because I always forget. So put a white font here, please, white font, because we're going to be having quite a deep fill here. And the fill here, you know how it works now. More colors, custom, and here you put the code of the deep green, which is 2A92C7. 2A92C7. Okay, let's see if it all works now. All right, so it seems to be working. Okay. Now, if you don't want to see the 0%, You can do it, but I like when you just leave them here, just to make sure that people understand that there is no, the task has not started at all. And when you have no task, obviously, you don't put anything here, so that'll be clearer. Okay, so we've done this, and my plan for the moment is to leave the heading white. We'll see if that works later on. There is also a heading for the background here. So for the background, you can do it manually, but I think you'll be better off using the style that I'm going to show you. Now, if I apply the black background, everything is going to be black. Thank you, Ben. So this is why I need to turn those white first. But before I do, I need to remember this one, 0T1921. It's not full black. If you're not as fussy as me, you might want to build full black, but I just prefer this a bit of a lighter black. Okay, so I've copied this. Now I'll be putting all that into with a white font. I will be going under the styles, right-click on normal, modify, and what do I want to put here? I want to go under format as well, and I want to put the fill, more colors, you know how it works, custom, and the hex here, you'll be putting the one that I've just mentioned, 0D1929. Okay, and you can put the font in white just in case you find yourself adding more. So this will work only for the new cells that you are creating, or the new data that you're inputting in cells, to be precise. And here, if I press OK, see, it's everything black with the exception of the one that we've already applied some type of formatting. So the heading here, for instance, didn't have any formatting applied for the fill, so it took the default value for the style. Now I can just put the white. I've selected white to start with. Okay, so we're making progress. Don't worry too much about this. This we can remove it and hide it towards the end. Okay, now we have just to put some things at the top here, some graphs at the top. Okay, so first let's start with numbers. Okay, here we have 3 numbers that we would like to put somewhere here. Not started, started, and completed. Okay, so I'm just going to be creating some text box. Okay, this is the first text box. Here I'm clicking on the side, on the border of the box, not inside, on the border, because I want to refer to a cell. And once you've clicked on the border of the cell, of the box, sorry, you put equal to, and the first one will be not started. And then you press the tick, and then you should have not started here. But the thing is the font will be voila, the font is black. So we want to actually do the opposite. We want to put the font back to white. And then what we want to do about the box, we want to put it transparent in a way. So shape format, shape fill, no fill here. Okay, what we also want to do is shape outline. We want, we want no outline. Okay, so now we have one big number. You can make the box a little bit smaller. You click on the border again. You put all that in bold. The font that I like to use is a Benchcraft semi-condensed here. I think it looks quite modern, and now just that bigger. Remember that you might have more than 1 digit, so just leave enough room for the other digits, otherwise it's going to go to the next line. Okay, so that's one. We can play around with size later on. So now if you click on the box and you duplicate it, Control D, that will be duplicating it. You go under here and you put, you select the cell for in progress instead. Now you're going to see that Excel doesn't like when you do this, so it just puts it back here. So don't worry, you go back on the first cell, Format Painter, and you apply it here. It's a bit strange, but that's the way it is. Control D. Now this will be for the completed. Same thing, you know how it works. Completed is this number here. And you go here, Format Painter, completed. So I want to put another one, completed. because otherwise we have to freeze, it's a bit confusing. So here we go. So we have the three numbers here on top. I wanted to add some fancy icons. So if you have some fancy icons, just use them. I'm just going to show you the standard Microsoft one. Insert icon here, and you have to find something for not started. You can have a look at what I've used for task. I can use this one, for instance, for not started. It means it's still in the inbox. If you use your imagination. For completed, you just put completed here, see if there's something that you like in this. It could be a big tick, it could be maybe the two flags would be a bit more cheerful. For in progress, what do you want to put? A clock maybe? If you put progress, it's not going to give me anything too exciting, I think. Or maybe this way, this wouldn't be too bad actually. I can put this one, okay. Now, when you have them all here, they need to they need to be white. So put them in white. Okay. In progress here, and everything should turn to white, and then we can have a look at sizes. Okay. All right. Finished here. Okay. In progress here. Just put it close to make sure I have the same size. Yes, it's roughly the same size. And then the last one is not started. If you don't like those icons, you know what to do. Okay. So we'll have a look at the alignment last. Okay, this is it. Next, I will be putting some other text boxes to indicate what this is. So I'm just going to be adding more room, a bigger one above. And I will be inserting not a text box as we did before, because it is a square by default, but I want to have something a bit more rounded, if you like. And I will be inserting a shape, and I will be selecting the one after the ellipse here. It has a rectangle with a rounded corners. And I will be putting this on top of that. Okay. Now, once you have done this, you can change the roundness, if there is such a word of this, by clicking on the yellow dot and just moving it around. So I think I'm quite happy with this. Okay. So now you go into shape field and you choose gradient, and you ignore all this and you go into more gradient. And this is, here for some reason, you always ask you to re-click gradient just to confirm. Here you see you have several, so I've already had mine. Actually, this is good. Bring it back. Well, okay. You already have mine that I've pre-selected before. So this is still stuck in my stuff. But if you, let's say, if I imagine I didn't have anything here, that should go here. So you should have this. So you see there is two little signs here. Stops, as they call it. You need to put one in the first color here and the second one in the other color. So I am putting the, here I have the dark side on this and the light side on the other side. So you just click on the stop, you just go into more colors, and you put the hex that we mentioned before. But as you have already done it, you should have the colors here at the bottom as I have. So on one side, you put the deep blue, or green. I mean, you could argue it's blue, but on the other side, you put the light one. And if you want to change the direction of this, you go in the direction. Thank you, Ben. I never guessed that. Okay, so here you can put it on the other side. But I'm going on the dark side on the right. Okay, so what do we want in this? We want text this time, so we can double click and put not started, for instance. Actually, it doesn't look too bad with the white font. And then here I'm just going to stick to my bench script. I'm just going to put that bigger. I'm going to center that as well. Not started. I might put that in black actually later on. I'm not sure. So same deal with double click, but this time is going to be better. It's not going to remove the formatting because we're not referring to a cell. in progress, not in progress, not started, in progress. And the last one, it will be completed. Okay, 364, 364, perfect. Now, for the cherry on the cake, we're going to do this beautiful ellipses, these beautiful diagrams that I had just to put it around here. Now, how are we going to do this? You would think, Ben, that's very simple. Let's just take a circle here, insert shape, circle, or to find a round here. I have a round here. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to put shape fill, no fill. I'm going to put the outline. And here I'm just going to put the gradient outline, because this is gradient that we want. So, but Ben, there is no gradient, and that is the problem. At the moment, it looks like Excel puts gradient wherever it wants. It doesn't want you to have gradients on the borders. So on the fill is happy for gradient, but not on the borders. And what we want is to put it on borders. So we have to change our strategy. What we need is a number, a random number, and trick Excel on thinking that it's a chart. For instance, I'm going to take one of those numbers here. I'm going to click on this number here, 3. And I will be doing an insert chart, and I will be selecting a donut. Okay. He wants me to take 3, but I only want one. Sorry, I only want one. I don't need this. I'm just going to remove this. I don't need the chart title. I'm going to remove this. I'm clicking on the border. I just go under Format, Shape Fill. I don't want any fill. Okay. Now, by default, on my computer, on my Excel version, because I do like white borders. I have white borders, but I want to remove the white borders. But before, I just will be removing the outline of the box. And I click on the series here. And I will be shape outline. I will be putting no outline. So it's important that you have no outline. This way it's a nice round circle. So this is what we have to do to trick Excel into thinking this is a chart. So that therefore you can apply gradient, because here, look, magic. If you click on the series, you can have gradient. See what you have to do. But before we go into this, let's just try and change the size of this, because we want to make one very good so we can then after duplicate it. Now, donut's whole size, we have to, increase it, I suppose. You increase the whole size, and then you have to play around with this until it fits it very nicely in the center. Go back here, it might be a bit too... I want to put it relatively thin. Okay. Now you can see that there is a bit of a... this is not good. All right. So when I want to add more width to this, everything is going out of control. It's changing the shape and the like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on one. Click on one. Press Control A. So you select all. Control A. Select all. And after you have to find the properties here, and you just put don't move or size with cells. Okay, so now I can change the size of all this and nobody's going to move. Okay, so now I need to allow some room for the note started at above here. Okay, I'm just going to remove this. I'm going to move all this down. I'm just pressing the Shift key to make sure I select everything. I'm just going to move that down a bit to allow for more room. And then I will be putting this around. Okay. Now I'm clicking again on this, and I want to put the gradient field here. And it applies it automatically because I still have it from before, but you should have it as well from before. So it does it automatically. As soon as you put gradient, it selects the previous gradient that you had, which is quite good, I think. Okay, so the good thing about this is you can just duplicate it and put it here, and then you duplicate it again, Control D, and this time it just knows that you want to move it So it doesn't often work to your advantage, this, but this time it does. Okay, so now we need to do some final formatting, bring all these free shapes to the right, those free shapes maybe to the right so they sit properly. This is coming up every time I move my mouse too fast. So we're almost done, so we just need to do some fine-tuning. I might do some fine-tuning offline and then go back for a sign-off. That's it. So I just played around with the shapes of all these. I've decided to go with lighter icons here. I thought the other ones at the end of the day looked a bit too thick. So you just go under insert icons and you select the lighter version of those. I put a clock here. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I put everything here. There's just a bit of a smaller font, so it's not too overwhelming. And this is not white exactly. It's a very light green, but I think white is actually okay. If you want a very light green, what you do is you take this green here. Let me go back here. You take the green that we had before, should still be in your list here. And then you go back under here, and then you go under more colors. And then when you are on this on the windows, you just slide that up until the color is still in the same tone, but very light. So you might prefer this. There you go. So I think this is finished. This is something extremely simple. It's all about the graphics. If you want something more complex or as simple as that, I have the choice. Have a look in my on my channel. I have plenty of those.